Finally, a gas grill with thermostatic control, available only at Sam's Club. The new Members Mark Pro Series with patented thermostatic control. It offers users 2 ways to cook. Barbecue mode is traditional grilling with variable temperatures with users in control, while oven mode allows users to set a temperature from 225 degrees to 450 degrees. And the technology does the work of monitoring and adjusting to ensure precise firebox temperatures. We're talking about the Members Mark Pro Series with thermostatic control, now available at your local Sam Club store.
Welcome to Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed, and my voice is totally gone.
You sound like Wolfman Jack.
Does it sound like Wolfman Jack? I got my trusty sidekick, Miss Southern Shell, right across from me. Lovely, talented wife. Thank you very much. And Tyler's on the board, and we're back.
We're back.
We're back. We took our little 2-week break in July. I had a lot of fun.
We're going to talk about, but first I wanted to remind everyone we will be in Oxford at the Circle and Square Brewery on July 27th. We'll be there from, I think it's noon to 3.
Something like that.
We're passing out beer braised pork tacos and beer can chicken sliders.
All made with Circle and Square brew. They've
Yes.
got a bunch of different styles of beer they're making down there right in Oxford. So this is a local Mississippi beer made in Oxford, 1 mile from the square, 1 mile from the Circle, right there on campus, or right off of campus is where the brewery's located.
You got a little soft spot in your heart for Oxford, Mississippi.
I love Oxford, Mississippi. I spent a lot of money and a lot of time down there.
So we're gonna go help support that local brewery.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it, and we'll probably be there a little bit longer than that schedule. That's the time I got to have some barbecue out.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, we just gonna have the beers out.
I think they might be getting a band that evening. And
I hope you got us like a place to stay down.
we do, within walking distance.
We do not need to be Ubering back there in Ando.
So we just got back from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Man,
We landed
telling
last
you,
night.
I had a blast. Have you ever seen those TikToks? Like we
had a time last night.
That's what I did that for 3 or 4 days down there or up there. It is. If y'all have never been to Grand Rapids area, it's beautiful. I mean, it absolutely is. The city was awesome. We went out to Holland and went fishing one day. That's a cool little area. We even had lunch that last day in, what was it called? The Gaslight District of Grand Rapids. Right, it was right around the lake right there. Man, it was beautiful.
I was really impressed at how nice and clean and just pretty everything was. It was a great little town.
When I think of Michigan, I was thinking of Detroit, and because I've never been. It's like, man, this is going to be like Memphis, just up north.
Yeah,
and it is not like that at all. It was really rural. Man, I saw a ton of farmland. I mean, it was cool. It reminded me of being home. We were just in Michigan. I don't know. I don't think Hernando's that clean.
The weather was super.
Yeah, Memphis definitely
Great. It was a great town. So we were.
You know what I liked about it? The breweries.
There's a brewery everywhere.
It is like Bruce. It's got to be Brew City, USA, or something like that.
I think that's what they call it.
More beers made there. My favorite too. The Founders one was cool, and the New Holland one was really cool. We had some good stuff at those places.
There was one beer I was drinking called Locals Light. It was really good.
It was just on draft, wasn't it? At the hotel bar.
Yeah, but that was a great town. We went up there to Mitten BBQ Supply.
Mm-hmm. And RW, so they partnered with the local Old World Butcher up there. It's called RW Bond Family Butchery. And I think the Mitten guys like knew them or something. And they were like, hey, we got this idea. Let's bring in and part of your store, let us do some retail there, because you already got a good customer base coming in, buying specialty made sausages, different cuts of meat, all that. But they brought the barbecue side to it, and they actually started out with just like our stuff in Swine Life because they were buying it to cook with, and they had the idea they could start a little barbecue store, and from there it's blossomed into what it is, and it's really cool.
I was really impressed with the butcher. That's the only other, because you walked in like the freezer room or whatever you call that.
The meat cutting room.
The meat cutting room, and he's got whole slabs of beef hanging up. Yeah.
Whole primal quarters. Cutting them up, They do hogs there. They do sheep there. And he cuts everything in house. It's not prepackaged stuff coming in, but it's old world style. Because
so what does old world style mean for a butchery?
Where they're actually they take that primal, they break it down, they get everything from it. They're making, I don't know how many different types of bratwurst they were making. They were curing sausages. They were making links. They had all this prep.
They made bologna.
He made bologna that we smoked out and gave a bunch of it away on Saturday.
It was bologna. Y'all made bologna burn ends.
Yeah. It was really good.
It was, to me, it wasn't bologna. It was like, is this bologna? It was really good.
It's not like brine.
Yeah, it's not like
or
that
Oscar
process.
Mayer, yeah. What's the one we get, the big chubs? Circle B. Yeah, Circle B bologna. No, it wasn't. Or Bar S. It wasn't none of that stuff.
It was really good. It had texture to it. Mm-hmm. You know, it was.
The texture was more kin to like a firmness, like a salami or something, but bologna flavored. You know, that's kind of how it was. It was really good. I liked it. I thought it was different.
Too, yeah. But the whole butchery thing, I was really impressed with that because I've never seen anybody else do that. We saw it when we went up to CAB, Certified Angus Beef.
They break a front quarter and a back quarter down and show us all the cuts that come out of it and everything.
But their whole job is, research and education and stuff like that. I've never seen a butcher have this much.
Doing it.
Yeah, doing it like that. And his sausages were really good. We cooked a whole bunch of his brats and his sausages on Saturday.
He had one guy that, what was he buying, like 1,000 shop made hot dogs from him every week because he's got like a hot dog cart. And I was like, he sells 1,000 hot dogs like that just on the street. I mean, that was pretty impressive.
Hot dogs were really big in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
I didn't try the hot dogs, but I would have really liked to have tried the hot dogs. So he house makes hot dogs?
Yeah. He'll make, so one guy come up this in our event, I stood out there and just was making sure I was going to meet everybody that came, and it had to be 1,000 people because people lined up and waited to come through. And one guy, what was his name? Dan, I think. I can't remember his last name. He says, I have them make a special breakfast sausage for me here, and we call it Dan's Special Sausage. I'm pretty sure it was Dan. Dan, if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. But he's like, I'm going to go, I ordered some, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to come out here and get the guys to cook it up and you try it. I was like, sure, I'll try it. Man, it was really good. It had like hash brown in it. And so it had different seasonings in it. It was a breakfast sausage. It was a link, but it was really tasty.
So it was his recipe, and he takes it to the butcher, and the butcher makes his recipe.
So if you got a specification for a sausage,
that is cool.
You can special order it, and they'll make it for you right there.
I tried that sausage. It was really good.
Yeah. My favorite, there was two that I really liked. One of them was called the Hidalgo, and it was kind of I think Robert, I guess it's Robert Jr. His dad's name is Robert too. And he was the one, he's like, his wife was from Hidalgo, Mexico, or that area or somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so he said, that's what we're going to call it. And it had like, I want to say it was Serrano, like fresh Serrano peppers in the sausage with all the seasonings and stuff.
Oh, I didn't get to try that one.
That one was fantastic. And then he did another one. He called it a loaded baked potato brat. It actually had like hash brown potatoes in it, sour cream, cheese, green onion, bacon, all of that in the bratwurst. And the texture was incredible. You would never thought that you could do something like that.
Yeah, the texture of the sausages was pretty good.
And he did another one. It was called the Ballpark. It was like ketchup, mustard, onion, and relish.
I didn't try that one.
Yeah, onion and relish inside the brat. And it's like, and you get you can pick those flavors out. Yeah. And you're like, man, that sounds so crazy. I'm telling you, it was really, really good.
He had one, I didn't try it, but I saw it. It was a blueberry goat cheese.
I tried that one.
Dang, how did you try all this?
So we went fishing on Friday
out
on Lake Michigan. Yeah. We caught a bunch of fish, and we went back to Joel, who's one of the partners in Mitten, the barbecue supply store. His house is not far from there. And so he's like, we're going to come cook some of these fish we just caught. So we had them, they were swimming, and then 2 hours later, we were eating them. And it was, I think it was a steelhead trout and a big king salmon that we caught like king salmon, steelhead trout, lake trout. So we caught several different species, and then that's the only two we cooked. I mean, these are huge fish, one of them Michael caught was like probably 26, 27 pounds. It was huge, And so they did some of them. They had a smoker going, a drum smoker. I think it was a cotton gin smoker going. And we did some of the fillets of the salmon on that. And then some of the steelhead, he kind of did them grande gringo style and did them on a halo flat top. and we made tacos, and some of them we just had to try. You know, man, it was fantastic. But we also they did 4 of those sausages: the blueberry goat cheese, the hidalgo,
the ballpark,
the loaded baked potato. No, there was another one they did because the rest of them they did the next day, like when we did the meet and greet stuff, and that's how I got to try all of them. I tried like 8 different sausages.
I tried one that was like had pineapple in it, and I normally don't go.
Was that the teriyaki one? It was. I think it was.
I'm not sure, but it was really good.
That the teriyaki one was the other one they brought us to try too.
So how was fishing?
Oh man, it was like fishing on the Gulf, but in a smooth lake. Because I mean, that day it was just perfect. You would have made it out there that day. There was no waves. Big boat. We were on like a 31-foot boat. He had out like 16 lines at one time. They kind of spread them out, and they got these planer boards that push the lines way out away from the boat. So you're covering a massive area, and you're just moving along real slow, trolling with these big baits. And I had never fished like that, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We caught a bunch of fish.
Mikey said he had to put some big mamas on.
He did. His pickled sausage. That's what got him going. He chummed them up with the pickled sausage. I mean, you fight like something that first fish Michael fought. It felt like he fought it for a half hour because when they bite, you drop these lines down. And there may be 500 feet of line out before where the planer board is, and then there's another 300 or 400 feet behind it going down in the water, and you got these big weights holding them down. And when those fish hit, they just run. And it's just peeling line off. And he says, all right, now just hold on. Because when he stops, that's what you got to bring him back. You just let him wear himself out. You're trying to turn that fish around and get him headed back towards the boat. And you just got to reel.
So how long did it take him to reel it in?
Oh, it's probably 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
But it feels like for some reason, I mean, the way they're pulling on it, you're not always gaining ground because it's constantly pulling back. So sometimes it's spooling and you're the captain's got the line trying to give you some slack so you can catch up some. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a fight. It ain't like your forearms and you're from cranking on these reels. By the time you get one in, you're wore out. It's like a workout.
Yeah, I stayed back.
But the weather up there. Yeah. Like they were like, oh, it's so hot. It was like, I think it was like 87. I was like, this is no humidity.
It was hot, like if you were on Saturday, like if you were standing in the sun, it was a little warm, but you got in the shade.
I never, we didn't even sweat on the boat. It was like, this feels great. I can stay out here all day, Like right here at home, I just kept getting heat advisories, dangerous heat advisories.
Yeah.
It's like 93 today, but it feels like it's 127 or something.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a little cooler this weekend, though.
Hope so. So Saturday, we went to Mitten. Did kind of a meet and greet, passed out a lot of food. Jamie, Mark, Mikey, they all came up, helped. We did barbecue nachos. And someone else smoked the pulled pork for us since, I
didn't get to try that.
It was excellent.
Only thing I tried was sausage and one bacon wrap donut hole.
So the bacon wrap donut holes, I want to talk about that because that's kind of like Mark's idea, I guess. But he usually buys the donut holes from like our local donut shop. They're real
the donut shop.
Yeah, they're like real. I guess you'd call them a yeast.
Yeah, they're fluffy, light.
Yeah, they're fluffy,
melt in your mouth almost.
And they got the glaze on them. Mm-hmm. And then he typically buys that pre-cooked bacon.
Yeah.
And uses it and wraps it around and toothpicks it and then smokes it.
So you're just warming it up on the smoker.
Kinda.
Putting a little. Oh, he seasons it with a little.
The barbecue rub.
Yeah.
And then you smoke them and you top them with a caramel sauce. Absolutely delicious. I think you should do a recipe on that, like a TikTok or something.
Mark's recipe, just take it and do it.
Yeah. But they had cake donut holes. That's what they had, cake donut holes. And then we were using the bacon from the butcher shop.
And they just pre-cooked it a little bit on the smoker.
Mm-hmm. Those were really good. They were completely different. They didn't taste like the typical ones that we've been doing, but they were really good. We
gotta give a shout out to Luke for bringing that outlaw up there.
Yeah.
So Luke Tree's from he's from Michigan, I guess from right there at Grand Rapids, and he entered the Palmer Harm contest. We were doing the one where he raised the money and he raised the most, so he won that pit. he brought it down for us to use. And that's what we cooked all that. I mean, a lot of that stuff was cooked on that pit. And Jay Craig, he drove up from Mentone, Indiana, and hung out with us all weekend.
But we did barbecue nachos with those were a big hit.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see that on any menu we went in last. I mean, some places had barbecue, like pulled pork quesadilla or a taco or something, but nobody had nachos.
I guess to me that's always a Memphis thing, yeah. Or this area thing. We did pork tenderloin sliders.
Is that just like a barbecue slider?
Yeah.
I saw y'all putting those together, but I never got to try them.
So they seasoned up those little pork tenderloins. You can usually get them pretty cheap at the grocery store. They seasoned them up, smoked them, got them cooked, and then we sliced them relatively thin. We took Hawaiian rolls, and we put a little piece of white American cheese on the bottom, 2 slices of that pork loin, topped it with the barbecue sauce, and then a spicy garlic pickle on top.
That's a good little bite right there.
It was a good little bite. And then something else. This one really needs to be recipe is the jerk chicken.
So that was where they had like 65 pounds.
It was so much
thighs.
chicken.
They were boneless, but they were skin on. So they had to pull all the skin off of them.
I wish we could get those.
Man,
boneless skin on.
Well, that was it was almost like it was a local. I looked at the box. It was a Michigan farm from right there. So it was a local chicken. It was really, really good looking chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Reminded me of like Springer Mountain Farms or something high dollar chicken.
Yeah. So what did they do? They yanked the skin off
and trimmed it,
65 pounds.
Cut them into chunks, basically like 3 chunks of thigh, and then covered it, put them in a big tub and mixed it with the jerk. So it was like jerk, boneless, skinless thighs on a stick, and like skewered them all, and then put it on. I think they cooked those on the pellet grills at like 300.
Oh, we had so much chicken. They were cooking them on everything.
Whatever they could find a spot.
Yeah.
But I didn't try them, but everybody raved over that chicken. It's hard to mess up thighs.
Yeah.
If you got boneless, skinless thighs, you can't overcook them. I mean,
but
they get a little crunch on the outside.
So they skewered them, cooked them, and then when they came off, we pulled them off the skewers. And so you just had kind of a pan of, chicken bites, and we re-seasoned them with that jerk and tossed them again, and served them. And people
just put it in a little boat. And
that was it. That's all it was your jam and jerk and chicken thighs on the smoker.
It's too easy.
It's so good. You need to do that as a recipe.
Yeah.
And then they did some corn dip. I mean, they had a buffet line.
It was like a Mexican street corn dip.
Macaroni cheese.
Pans of mac and cheese. What was the other meat? The bologna.
Bologna, sausages.
Yeah, and all the sausages. You could have come out there and ate lunch.
I mean, a lot of people did.
Yeah.
They had a whole buffet line. They had chicken
How come we
dishes.
didn't do like bullfrog, though? No, we didn't have any drinks. I guess people had bottled water. I saw them passing out bottled water.
Yeah. I don't know.
It would have turned into a street party if we'd had the bar tent. We probably had to get another license or something for that. But
we needed some music and some bullfrog.
Oh, the cool thing was everywhere you went down there, like they give you cups to go. Like you want to walk out with a drink, you got to pour it in this cup. And don't walk out with a can or bottle. But if you poured it in this cup, you could take it anywhere you wanted. You just couldn't walk inside with another cup. You had to finish it and then buy another one. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, when I went to
definitely a beer drinking town. Oh, one of the reason why I can't tell is because I forget, was it Saturday night? We went to this place.
Saturday you were talking all day.
Yeah.
Just all day talking. And then Saturday night.
We went and put on a show at a piano bar called Mojo's.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Look, we were the life of the party. I promise. It was Mikey's birthday. So immediately we had Luke with us, and you never go anywhere quiet with Luke. Well, he's full. I wish I had his energy. He's full energy everywhere you go. You see him at 5:30 in the morning. Hey guys, how's it going? 11:30 at night. All right, guys, we're gonna do it again tomorrow. I mean, it's all day like that. Never slows down. Full throttle. Well, we hit that piano bar, and you weren't with us. It was just us, Jay, Luke, me, and Mikey at that point. And we went in there, and I was like, we got all these seats on the rail, and we just started ordering beers and shots for everybody, giving the piano guys money up front. And it was like, we didn't know this, but it was like a bachelorette party headquarters, it seemed like. I don't know how many wedding dresses and parties of women were in there. But that was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I sang every song for them. They let you put in requests. as long as you put like $1 or $2, and the more money you put in the little thing, the faster they'll play your song. Oh, they shouldn't have told us that. we had them playing every. And Mikey was like, "Play Toto." What is it?
The rains down.
The rains down in Africa. We had them playing all kinds of songs. It was, but we had the place hyped.
Oh yeah, the rednecks were there.
Yeah. Oh, some people stopped me at the airport, Tyler, and they were like, "Hey, excuse me, were y'all in the piano bar the other night?" And it's like he didn't know who I was from Adam, but he was like, "We want you to know." They were leaving to go on their honeymoon, and they said, "We had the best time because of y'all." And I was like, I guess it was just like entertainment watching us rednecks. But I was like, never been stopped and told that you did a great job at that piano bar.
Recognized for something not
Yeah,
barbecue.
not barbecue,
related.
not barbecue, for screaming my lungs out. Well, they didn't care how you sounded. They just wanted you to be loud.
Yeah.
And when he kept going louder, louder, I was like, well, here we go. Keep breaking those fireballs. It's like Miller Lights and fireballs. We're on.
Yeah, we always liven up a piano bar, for
Yeah.
better or for worse.
For better or for worse, I don't know. Me and Chef done it at Pat O's in New Orleans before. But the thing about this place is it had windows. So if you was walking on the street, you could see in.
Yeah, it wasn't dark.
You could lose track of time. At Pat O's, it's like a dungeon, man. You go in there and you don't know when you're coming out. It could be 3 in the morning. You stumble out of there. They change piano players every 90 minutes, so it's like show after show.
Yeah, those guys put on a great show. I love a good piano bar. It's interactive.
Oh.
They're messing with everybody.
So it's better than karaoke.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It's kind of like karaoke. You sit in your seat and, well, we got them dance and all that stuff too, though. Mikey trying to do the moonwalk was funny to me. I don't know who, did you put that song in? Tell them to play Billie Jean or whatever? I don't know. Maybe it was Luke. But the guy said, all right, somebody's got to come moonwalking. Nobody showed up. So I was like, Mikey, go moonwalk. He said, I got this. He downs his beer and he goes down there in the front. And I don't know if he's got on Crocs or Hey Dudes or whatever, but they grip to the floor and he can't go nowhere.
No, it was his own cloud.
I was like, what it was?
Yeah.
He couldn't get no traction. So he was just moving his legs and his arms, but he wasn't going nowhere. And that guy said, sit down, sit down.
And then somebody went up there and actually did it.
Yeah, but I called foul on that. That dude had on bowling shoes. There's no way he was moving that slick across there. Because he was like...
He did a good job, yeah. So many people on Saturday asked me about Blue Plate. They're like, did you bring the Blue Plate?
Really? We should have sent some up to Michigan.
We should have.
They had Hellman's. It was Hellman's country up there.
Yeah, they were asking me, I'd love to try that Blue Plate. Y'all got any Blue Plate?
Do you think
Man.
people would ever just want to sample mayonnaise?
That's what I told
That's the
them.
worst thing in the world. I mean, I love Blue Plate. Been using it for a long time. It's quality mayonnaise since 1927, made in New Orleans, real mayonnaise.
Best mayonnaise on the planet.
But I don't want to take it out and give samples of it out.
Yeah. Somebody
They want it.
somebody
It's an
asked,
untapped market.
yeah, somebody asked me about it, and I was like, I didn't know I was going to be a mayonnaise spokesperson, but
You didn't.
here we are.
Here we are.
Play with the card you're dealt.
Yeah. Do they have Blue Plate in like squeeze packs, like Chick-fil-A packs?
No, I've never been able to find it.
Oh man, if they could do that, we
You
could
can get like Hellman's, you can get some of the other ones. But
Kraft. I know you could get. Kraft.
Yeah, is it Kraft?
Yeah.
Maybe you can't get Hellman's. Maybe it's Kraft. I don't
I
know.
bet Hellman's makes it too.
But like restaurant, I've gone to Restaurant Supply.
Tyler, let Blue Plate
Amazon.
know. We need the little bitty individual packs, like ketchup style packs of Blue Plate,
The
like
first
10,000.
the first night we went there, we went and ate at a restaurant called Butcher's Union.
Man,
I was impressed.
it was so it wasn't fine dining at all. I would say it was more like
It was real trendy. It was
Yeah.
like real hip. It was like, the
best steak in a bar setting.
yeah.
If I you know what they said on Sunday in Philadelphia? That's
Yeah.
about Dave and Buster's. Well, this place blew Dave and Buster's out of the water, but it was trendy.
It was real, and so we were standing outside. It was real busy. It was real popular.
Hundreds of different suburbans.
Yeah, it was a real bar-y type,
Yeah.
a real trendy hip bar. And I'm like, man, this food's gonna stink.
Yeah.
Just because that's been my experience. If it's real trendy, real happening, the food's usually not that great. I ordered a ribeye, and it was the best ribeye I've had out in a long time.
It was cooked perfect.
Cooked perfect.
They
Seasoned
knew
well.
Rare Plus.
Yeah.
Like you asked the server, can y'all do Rare Plus? And she's like, oh yeah, no problem. And I was like, what? For real? Go ahead and do mine that way. Let's see. And then I was like, we kind of made a little side bet. This ain't going to be right. It was perfection.
To me, if I ask somebody, can you do Rare Plus, and they know what I'm talking about, like the restaurant knows what
We're
I'm
on the
talking
right
about,
track.
We're on the right track. Yeah.
There's not many that do.
Mm-mm.
For a chain, Capital Grill can usually get it. Like, you're not going to get that at average steak place.
Applebee's don't know what I'm talking about.
No. Texas Roadhouse, none of those. Did y'all do at Longhorn? Or was it, no, which one did you work at, Tyler?
All right, so inside secret at Longhorn, if anybody ever said that, usually we just put in like there was no button. Whenever you select a steak, there's just a button for rare, medium, blah, blah, blah. And you could put special instructions on. So every now and then you would do like medium rare with a plus symbol next to it and see what came back.
Happened.
But it just depended on who was on the grill. Like,
well, it's a thing. It's in between rare and medium rare.
It usually means like keep that medium rare, extra rare.
Yeah. But it was perfect. And they had these little potatoes that I think they baked them, cut them into wedges, got them cool, and then fried them in like beef tallow or something because they were crispy all the way around, but it was pillowy soft on the inside. And then what did it come with? Asparagus, I think was the other one, and hollandaise or something.
Oh, everywhere I ordered fries, I either had mayonnaise on the side or a creamy sauce.
Ketchup wasn't the thing. It was,
and I'm all about that.
That's how it should be.
Yeah,
there was one place, so I don't remember the name of that burger place we went to, but they served these fries, and you could get them seasoned or regular with an avocado dipping sauce. And I never got avocado out of it at all, but it was like a spicy kind of mayo. I mean, it was fantastic.
I want you to recreate that sauce. And they're spicy. Are there seasoned fries?
Burgers were just, they weren't Huey's.
Yeah.
I'll say that. But the fries and that sauce was worth going there.
So would you ask them what are they seasoning the fries with? Because they were spicy.
It was Frank's Buffalo wing seasoning, and you would never know it because it didn't have a buffalo flavor. It was just like a spicy fry.
But now I want to season all my fries with Frank's Buffalo seasoning.
We're going to try that.
I wonder what that'd be like just on like an oven roasted potato.
But one way to find out.
Yeah.
I've got some of that. The dry wing seasoning from Frank's. They sell it I bought it at Sam's. It's a pretty good sized bottle. It's real powdery.
And then on Sunday we did a food crawl.
That was the Trees Feast. Luke got a shuttle bus. The bus driver was cool as she could be. And we went all around Grand Rapids and hit all the different breweries and tried different stuff at each one of them.
That was a fun day.
Where was your favorite stop?
The place with all the devil art on the walls.
What was the name of that? That was place that had the avocado dip for the fries.
But they had vintage video games. They had like a whole bunch of vintage video games. And Michael had never played pinball before.
It was the Funhouse pinball game. That's what they were all impressed with.
Oh, is that like a well-known?
I guess. I didn't know. One of Luke's brothers, they were like, oh, they got the Funhouse. I hadn't seen this in 35 years, you know?
They had Miss Pac-Man, Tetris, Mortal Kombat. Like
Defender.
that. Yeah. I'd never heard
NBA
of
Jams.
Yeah.
That was an old Atari game. Defender was.
What was your favorite?
I didn't play any games.
No, what was your favorite stop on our crawl?
The last place where we run out of there like after midnight. It was like Z's.
That was after.
That wasn't even part of the crawl. That was like, we got to find somewhere else to go. We're not through. No, Tyler, they had these, they served these pizzas. And I think it was a 10 or a 12-inch pizza, but it was like a cracker-style crust, like super thin. And, man, it was just, for some reason, those were hitting at midnight. I mean, that bar was cool. They have live Keno going the whole time. So we all pitched in $5, and I didn't even know how to play it. You had to pick 4, and do you want the bonus? And then they run a game every minute and a half or something. I think we ended up being up like $30, didn't we, or something at the end of the night?
Oh, really? Yeah. But we put in.
We played 200 games or so. It was like we were going to be there for some hours. So. But that place was cool. But both the breweries, the New Holland and the Founders, were super cool. The first place we went, it was a smaller brewery, but they did pizza flights. And that was, you pick 4 kinds of pizzas and they bring it down. It's not a whole pizza. It's like, was it like squares?
Yeah.
of like 4 different pizzas. They bring it out on a big cutting board and set it on the table, so everybody can kind of try you pick out the 4 flavors. And then they did their beer. You could do a beer flight the same way, like pick 4 or 5 beers. That was good.
They had one pizza that had like, it was kind of like a ballpark pizza. They had like chopped up hot dogs on it. We didn't try it.
Oh, I didn't try it.
Did you see it on the menu though? It had like hot dogs and, all the toppings of a hot dog.
Of the beer, man, I like that. The New Holland's the best. That Dragon's Milk, that was some good stuff. And then they had some others that were like more stout. One of them was like I had a 12% and an 18%.
Daggum.
And they were phenomenal.
No wonder you were still ready to go.
But one they were making, what they call it, the coffee guy. It was like, it reminded me of a White Russian. It was like cream and one of the because New Holland makes spirits too, so they have like vodka and whiskeys and things like that. So it was their vodka, one of their stouts, coffee, like an espresso stout. They had some espresso syrup and then the cream, heavy cream, and it was, man, those things were really good too.
That sounds really good.
Now would be a great time for us to do a quick Primo pause.
All right.
Pay some bills.
Pause for Primo. The How to Barbecue Right podcast is brought to you by our friends at Primo Grills. Shell, did you know that Primo is the only ceramic grill made right here in the good old USA?
What? Are you telling me that Primo Grills are proudly crafted here in the USA, ensuring top-notch quality and support for local craftsmanship?
I sure am. Plus, Primo Grill not only delivers mouth-watering flavor, but because of their innovative oval design and superior ceramic construction, Primo Grills also gives you a ton of cooking versatility.
Whether you're smoking low and slow or searing a steak to perfection, Primo Grills gives you the consistent heat distribution for mouth-watering results every time.
What she said, y'all. Y'all visit primogrill.com and check them out.
So a lot of people were asking about some new seasonings you might have at Walmart.
Man, we do. We've got the Bayou Blend out at Walmart. We've got the Buttery Sea offshore Buttery Sea Food. We've got a rib seasoning out that's only at Walmart. And then we've got TX and hot and steak and AP and regular.
But
those are the ones you can get. But these 3 new ones that I got there, it's what you call a test market. It's what you call, you got to give somebody some exclusivity to get on the shelf. But I will be doing some recipes with those coming. Well, unless there's some kind of renegotiation, I'll be able to sell those one day. And so the recipes will be coming.
I love that offshore buttery seafood.
I mean, it wasn't like you got to do this for us to sell your seasonings, but it's a little icing on the cake to be able to give somebody an exclusive place to buy them, because everybody's asking for them now because people are putting it on social media, and I haven't promoted them because I know it's the only place you can get them. So I appreciate it if you go to Walmart and get them. Believe me, but I'm not expecting everybody to, because I'm not going to tell everybody where they got to shop. Like, you don't even have to buy them from me. I don't care where use your own. If you got a favorite season, hey, use it. It just happens to pay our bills. But I ain't twisted nobody's arm. There's all kinds of good stuff out there to use. Right? Am I wrong?
No. But they're both.
Yeah,
something you've been working on for a while.
Yeah, I mean I've got seasonings that I work on. I'm trying to not just do all barbecue stuff. Because, there's a lot of great barbecue stuff out there I feel like I've got. The beef barbecue is one of the best one in the world to me. Why do I need to try to improve on it? So I branch out and do some other stuff. Well, I've got the Malcom's line, and I do have a Cajun seasoning over in it, but it's different than Bayou Blend. That was, because when I use Cajun seasoning, I use different stuff too. So I've kind of got some other mixtures going, and I didn't really have a buttery one. And I said, well, I think I use some butter in a seasoning. I think of seafood. So I was like, well, and who's got an offshore season, because we started going down there and going fishing, and I'd like to cook a lot of those fish. So that was kind of my take on that. And the rib rub they wanted something unique. Walmart was like, we like chicken rubs. We like specific things. And I was like, well, let's do one just for ribs. So that's how those come about.
But yeah,
and you'll see them. It may be before we get to sell them. It may be like next spring.
Probably, I think so.
I think that's when I don't really know. I'd have to go talk to somebody up the ladder, I guess. Who's that, you?
You also did a recipe for peach nachos.
If you want me to design you a rub just for you to sell, holler at your boy. I'm great at it.
You got a few you've been working on.
Yeah, I got a whole catalog full of stuff that I want to work on. It's the thing holds me back. It takes a little money to develop them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so peach nachos.
Oh, you want to talk about the dessert of the summer? You gotta have the key to that one's the fresh peaches, though.
Yeah, you gotta have the fresh.
It really ain't. You could use canned peaches
say,
frozen if you wanted to.
You do cook them in a sauce and make a caramel.
It's pretty much like making peach Fosters, but I made my own chips, and those are simple. And I don't know why more restaurants don't serve them. They're way better than the corn. Using flour tortillas to make chips. You talk about with a queso or nachos or something with the flour tortillas, it's just a different texture.
They're
light,
so
crispy.
Good.
We used in World Foods. I did that.
You did a I forgot what the recipe was. I remember the chips.
It was with shrimp.
It was with shrimp.
Yeah, we were making like a one bite
shrimp dip kind of bite. Yeah.
And we fried those.
But this one, you took your flour tortillas, you quartered them up, and you used the smallest flour street corn.
Like street taco. Yeah. Street taco size. Yeah. I don't know what inch they are. Was it a 4-inch shell probably?
Probably.
I think so.
3.5, something like that. You cut them into quarters, you fried them in peanut oil, and as soon as they came out, you sprinkled them with cinnamon toast sugar, CTC.
I don't know where you get that.
It used to be at Walmart.
Oh.
I've seen it at Sam's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's basically brown sugar, cinnamon. If you got a brown sugar cinnamon, you can sprinkle it on them. But it reminded me of like the churros, like you get at Costco, the little pastry thing that they season. That's what kind of those things have that flavor. And then that was going to be the base of the nachos. And then to do the peaches part of it, I think it was like 5 fresh peaches, halved them, got the pits out, sliced them up, put them in a skillet. Well, first I did butter and brown sugar, made like a little sauce, let that melt down, throw my peaches in there, and it just starts pulling out moisture. You basically saute them in that buttery, caramely mixture. And then you cut.
They kind of cook down a little bit.
Oh yeah, they make it. It gets thick, and it gets just. Oh, it's really good. But you could do that. You could do it with apples. You could probably do it with berries. You could do all kinds of versions of nachos, dessert nachos with this. And then right at the end, you kill the heat, hit it with some 151 overproof rum, fire it up, let it start flambeing, put you a little of that cinnamon sugar in there, make it a little sparkle.
How necessary is that for the recipe?
Have you ever seen them do it in New Orleans when they bring the cart out and they push it out and they do it with the bananas?
Is it
it's part of the show, baby.
Yeah.
Part of the show. Heck yeah. I don't even know if we got it on the video though, do we?
Yeah.
Did it show doing that part?
Yeah, you can see the little sparkles.
Yeah. Well, as soon as that stuff's kind of, all come together and the fires burn off, you kind of get that flavor of that rum without being any alcohol in it. That's all you're doing is cooking it off. Make sure the key to that is cut your heat source off. Don't put too much rum in there and spark it and stay away from it because it's going to burn off pretty quick. But, if you got a low ceiling, don't put it up there by it. It was fine in the smokehouse. But when that goes over the chips, you just ladle it over it.
Well, first you put ice cream.
Well, yeah, so that's the cream part. And I don't remember what brand, Blue Bunny. Oh, it was the Blue Bunny Soft. What do they call that?
It's called Blue Bunny Soft Serve.
Yeah, it never gets super hard.
And it's really tasty. It tastes like soft serve.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how you found that. I think Michael picked it out one day or something. And I was like, this is the best ice cream in the world.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. You just put and I didn't use like monster scoops. I think I just had a small scoop of it. Then I spread it around on the nachos, tossed it with the peaches mixture, and that's it. That's all there is. And then stand back because people are going to devour it. You could serve it on an iron skillet if you wanted to, or if you wanted to for presentation.
You could do it individuals.
Yeah, you could do little individuals.
What do you think about it, Tyler?
It was like amazing.
You weren't eating that day, and I think me and Tyler ate the whole thing.
Pretty much. I remember you saying like you were surprised how much was gone.
Yeah.
But then like we had a lunch later at the office, and you had bought this like homemade peach ice cream or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That on there would have been so.
Oh
good.
yeah, that's right.
I didn't think about that.
I didn't either.
Peach ice cream with that peach topping.
Yeah, because that's a really good. Store bought peach ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Bluebell?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I like that so much that I bought the strawberry one for my son's birthday, and it was really
People
good
like
too.
it. Yeah.
It was strawberries, Bluebell strawberry ice cream.
Like homemade strawberry with
Yeah.
strawberry chunks, like the peach one. It was so good, so good.
That's my favorite ice cream, strawberry. Just on a side note, my birthday is coming up.
You kind of wow. You also did a skirt steak and made skirt steak sliders.
Yeah, those are.
Where'd you get the skirt steak?
I want to say Kroger. Found it at Kroger.
Did
We're
they
starting
normally?
to see it. Well, they hadn't. You know, the only place that I could find it around locally was like Aldi. But I started showing up. I'd always order them from Kevin down in Pensacola, the butcher shop. But he's got, and his skirt steak's phenomenal.
He probably has some.
Oh, he's got. I've had cooked a Wagyu one before, and I don't know what it cost because he sent it to me. But I'm telling you, the finest skirt steak I ever ate. And the one I cooked was just a grocery store. But Kroger they're starting to get in different cuts. And I think as people are like getting, educated and asking the butcher if they can get this and that, we're starting to see it more in our area. Because we didn't grow up with cuts of beef like that. It was just standard stuff, mostly ground and then your steaks, and that was it. You had chuck roast. We'd see some London rolls, but now you can get flank cut, you can get cheeks, you can get skirt steak. I'm ready for the tri-tips.
Every now and then
I want to see the tri-tips, and I want to see the big plate ribs. Like, you don't see them very often. Like, I have to ask them for the short ribs before they cut them down into short ribs. But that's all it is.
What is skirt steak?
There's inside skirt and there's outside skirt. And the inside is like the diaphragm of the animal. What's kind of I guess it helps you breathe, separates your entrails from the crucial parts and all that. And I think the outside skirt's like flat meat off the side somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not a butcher, but I know that's the two different areas it comes from.
But they're long, they're flat.
Yeah. It's usually got some fat on it, but it's not like heavily marble because these are like working muscles. But usually they're super, super tender, and they make excellent.
They have great flavor. They
You
have
see
a really
them used
good
a lot
beefy
for
flavor.
like, it's intense beef flavor. That's why I like
I
it.
do too. It's like tri-tip.
And you don't have to do anything to it. A lot of times you see it used for fajitas or something like that, tacos. But I like to take them simple, salt and pepper. Like I use TX on it. Hot fire. You don't have to worry about different zones or whatever because you're just scorching that outside of it.
Because it's so thin.
Yeah, and I've done them on like ceramic grills. You can do it on anything. Doesn't do as really good on a pellet grill because you really want it to sear. Now, pellet grills just aren't going to sear that well. And you don't need to like slow cook it, like bring it up because you can't really temp them very well because they're so thin. And if you notice, the grain always runs one direction on it, like a cross. And so just as long as you know that when you cook it, you're cooking it long ways where you have to section it up to slice it because it's so long. Yeah. You can cut it into individual pieces and make steaks out of it and serve like a whole piece of that. But I would probably, if I was going to serve it to somebody, I would slice it and fan it, or, for them, have it in the proportion you want. But all I did, man, I don't think if we put a total time to it on that one. I bet it wasn't even on that grill for 6.5 minutes. Wasn't
That's
it, Tyler?
what I guess, 6 minutes.
It was something. It was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Flip it, look and see. I didn't use just straight grate, nothing special, no grill grates or anything. I was just trying to get it scorched up, get that little crust going. And man, it was fire. Brought it out, cut it into my little pieces. It was about 5 to 6 inches long, and then skewed my knife a little bit. Because it's so flat, if you slice straight down, it looks more like when you go to a Mexican restaurant, you get those little pieces of meat. I wanted it to look like a slice of steak. So by turning it, you get that kind of angle cut on it, and you can really see what the meat looks like. And, man, it was just – and I told y'all when we cut this, we might, I hope it looks right because there ain't no going back. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if all of it's like, are we going to be able to film cutting up all of it because some end might be in it. But the whole thing from tip to tip was perfectly medium rare.
Yeah, it was pink in the middle.
But I did let it rest probably about 10 minutes maybe when I pulled it off the grill. And I couldn't get a good reading with the thermometer.
The meat is just delicious.
Melted in your mouth.
Yeah.
Me and Tyler ate a bunch of that one too.
So much.
Didn't you take that one home and feed it to the boys? Did they get some of that? The skirt. I thought you got to take a little bit of that.
I think
home.
I took it home.
Yeah. I did buy one though after you did that because I loved it so much, made it, and it was super good.
Yeah.
Did you do it kind of the same way?
Exactly the same way. Just with I didn't do it on sliders. We just made it with like potatoes and asparagus on the side. Super duper good. Easy way to feed a whole family with like $20 for me.
Yeah, yeah. And that's about what it was. I mean, I don't remember how many pounds it was, but I think it was right about $18-$20 for that big piece of meat.
So you made sliders with it?
Yeah, we did the video just showing you how you cook the steak, and then I took some of that and made like a skirt steak sliders with cheese and
you caramelized onions.
Oh man, the caramelized onions are so good.
So you took Hawaiian rolls and split them, and then on the bottom of it you put jack cheese.
Yep. Shredded though. We shredded it ourselves, like block. I didn't buy the like package. I think that came straight out of the block.
It melts so much better when you grate it yourself. So you did self-shredded
cheese,
jack cheese, and then you layered your skirt steak on it, and then you had those caramelized onions that went on top.
That's right. How'd
you caramelize onions?
You basically just cook them down in some butter. But you got it in a little balsamic vinegar.
And you added brown sugar.
And I add a pinch of that just to bring out some sweetness and give it some color, because it'll give you that caramelized look on it without having to sit there and just keeping on cooking the onions. And then I add about a tablespoon of water at a time as needed. So like when all the, because it's pulling out the moisture from the onions, but you don't want it juicy or oily, but you want enough in there to keep it from scorching and sticking. So I just keep adding a tablespoon of time. Like I'd have a water in a little shot glass, and I'd pour me a splash, and it probably took half an hour to caramelize down that big old skillet of onions.
It takes the longest.
Yeah, it takes the longest to do this. But while your grill's getting hot, you can caramelize your onions, and they'll set to the side fine. But it's such a good contrast. You get that, savory, sweet, a little texture to it. I mean, I really, really like caramelized onions to go with that beef like that.
Even if you didn't make the sliders, you could just serve the beef and the caramelized onions.
Oh, yeah, you could easily.
But anyway, so you did bread bottom, jack cheese, slices of skirt steak.
That's right. And then the onions.
And then more cheese.
More cheese on top.
And then you put that in the oven. And
let it melt.
Because a lot of times with the sliders, you go ahead and put the top on, kind of wrap it up, cook it all that way. You toasted the top bun.
That's right. Just to get a little crunchiness, just to toast. That's all it was.
Yeah. You kept it separate. You browned the cheese, melted the cheese, and then toasted that bun. So it was, I really like that approach.
Yeah. Well, I need it. And if you put that top bun on there, it takes it at least a half hour to melt that cheese. Well, I had this perfectly medium rare cooked skirt steak, and I didn't want to hammer it for 30 minutes in the oven. So I knew if I could just put the cheese on there, that it would melt it fast if it was open face.
What do you call it, schmelting?
Yeah, I schmelted it. And it was like, I'm pretty sure we just did it on broil. Like I never even put it on 350. And that way the bottom cheese melted, because the steak was still pretty warm when I sliced it on there. It's helping melt that. But the heat of that broiler's really going to melt it too. And
you did, the top bun, you did put a little butter on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Just add even more flavor. And then you used a blue plate.
Yeah, they call it creamy cocktail sauce, but it tastes more like a horseradish sauce. I mean, I guarantee you it's mayonnaise, ketchup, and cocktail sauce. Like horseradish. Yeah, that's probably all it is. You could make that easy too, because we make like a version of homemade cocktail sauce. Just add blue plate to that cocktail sauce.
Yeah.
But it gives it it's not, it's great with like fried seafood, but the horseradish goes with that beef so good. So I thought it made a great little sauce to go with it. And I didn't put a ton of that, just a little light drizzle.
But even just doing sliders at all, a lot of times you don't want to put that creamy sauce on the slider, especially like a beef slider.
Yeah.
But I think that a creamy sauce goes really well with a beef slider. So when you do it that way and keep them separate, you know, toast the top bun, melt your cheese, and then you can add your sauce and close the top and serve it.
It doesn't break the sauce during the cooking process. It doesn't get oily on you. Yeah.
So I thought that was a great idea.
But it's kind of, it's kind of like that, the creamy horseradish sauce that you make for beef with ketchup in it. It's pretty much all it is. And probably a little hot sauce.
Yeah.
Because it has a spice to it. Like when I make homemade cocktail sauce, it's ketchup, hot sauce, and jarred prepared horseradish.
Is that it?
That's
lemon juice?
Squeeze a lemon. Squeeze a fresh lemon.
No salt, pepper?
No, you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need it salt. But there's a lot of those oyster places you go in, like down in New Orleans, where they don't, those four or five things are in a little kiosk on the table. I don't know, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
I call it a kiosk. But they're designed to make your own the way you like it. Instead of having a jar of cocktail sauce or whatever, you can mix it up yourself to how you like it. And that's how I learned to do it. I think it was probably either Drago's or Acme where I was doing that.
It's because I don't like a whole lot of horseradish. You love it. You want more extra horseradish. I want just
a touch, yeah. I mean, I just like spooning horseradish on an oyster too.
Yeah.
It's intense, but you don't do it with every one of them, but every once in a while you got to take it to the brain.
So I found something interesting. I was talking to somebody at Mitten on Saturday, and they said that the USDA, they read an article about how the USDA might be lowering chicken doneness to 160.
What, it's 165 now?
Yeah, it's 165 now, which we do it 160 anyway.
Yeah, and let carry over.
But they might actually be lowering it. I
Well,
thought that was
they did that
interesting.
with pork.
Yep.
Pork
Couple
got
years
taken
back.
down. Yeah, it's been several years now, but they did.
It used to be 160 and they dropped it to 145,
I
didn't
think
it?
so, yeah. That's good. Maybe the chicken conditions are getting better at the
At the processing
plants.
Yeah.
You know something I saw cool in there, and this is not a pitch or anything, but they had this different brand, and I mentioned it earlier, Halo Grill. I'd never heard of them. They had this little portable like pellet grill that works off the drill batteries. That's kind of battery it takes, and I guess it comes with a charger, but it'll run 18 hours with no electricity, no power pack, just like the little cordless drill battery thing in it.
But
I thought that was so cool.
It was a portable, like tailgate style.
Yeah,
pellet
tailgate
grill.
style. Like you could take. That's what I said. Oh, this
It
would be
wasn't that
perfect.
heavy.
No, it wasn't. It was. Yeah, I could see
Like that Traeger is
taking them sausages and going to a tailgate and doing those. What was it? What brand was it called?
what?
Halo.
Halo.
Yeah. I want to check
I'd
those
never,
out. Yeah.
I'd never seen that.
Well, they
brand
had a
before.
flat top, and I guess they had a bigger pizza. Would they have a pizza oven too?
Yeah, it had a spinner, like so it would spin
Yeah,
the pizza inside there.
I'm not familiar with that brand at all, but I just thought it was interesting because I'd never seen it anywhere.
It was a good idea to use those kind of batteries to power
absolutely.
a tailgate style grill.
I will say, if you're in Grand Rapids, go in that shop, R.W. Bond Family Butcher, Mitten BBQ, and get their outlaw hillbilly jerky. That's what it's called. It's a house-made beef jerky, and it may be one of the best flavors of beef jerky I've ever had.
I didn't try it.
Oh, I had a sack, but I think I gave it to Mikey.
Oh yeah.
Because they brought me out a bag of, we were sitting around after the thing was over having some beers under the trees outside. And they was like, you want to snack on this? And I was like, man, this is fire jerky.
What did they
make it all-
do?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't.
They cut. I did ask him if all that meat was hand cut. He hand cut every bit of that jerky. They marinated it, and it's a dry marinade. I did ask him if it's a wet marinade. He said, no, it's a dry marinade. And how long did you dehydrate? He said, we can't dehydrate it. We have a special, I guess because it's commercially, they're selling it. They can't use just dehydrator. They had to have a NSF,
Yeah.
certified smoker or whatever they were cooking it in. And it ran off. Like I did see that in the back.
I did
went back
too.
there one time just to go to the bathroom. And their smoker was like this big commercial looking smoker and had like a trough of sawdust. And that's what fired it. I should
thought that
have got a little tour on that. If we go back up there, I'm gonna see if I can get somebody to show me how that thing operates.
Yeah, Jay pointed it out to me. He's like, "Is this? What do you think they're,
Putting
powering
sawdust in something.
But it did. It kind of looked like sawdust.
Yeah, it was.
And
It
it was
wasn't like pellets.
It was a big
Yeah.
smoker.
Yep.
Very commercial. Did you see? I saw a video the other day where someone cooked popcorn on a Blackstone.
I have not seen it, but they put the oil down the thing and put a bowl over it or something. Yeah,
Yep.
I could see you doing that.
I'm kind of curious how that would turn
It's like
out.
Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, kind
You
of.
remember that? Is it the full thing? You hold it over the eye or whatever?
But I wonder, you could do all kinds of flavors and
Yeah.
get creative with it. I just thought that was interesting.
It seems like it would like take that bowl off and then you got a mess on your hand. Where's it all going? And then is it going? I mean, you got to get it off quick. I don't know.
So our microwave at the house doesn't work, and I usually like to make popcorn. We have the kernels just to straight in the jar.
Yeah.
You just put a little bit of olive oil down in like a big saucepan, and then
Yeah.
put the kernels in there and pop it.
Oh,
that
that's
way.
how we grew up. I mean, we didn't have a microwave when I was there. It wasn't a thing. We had a popcorn pot. Like this was the one pot. My mom said, "Get out the popcorn pot." That's how you did it.
Yeah.
It'd be like Orville Redenbacher in a jar. kernels, and you had either oil or butter oil that you'd put in there, and you cook it till it popped the lid up a little bit.
Yeah, you got to shake it the whole time.
Shake it some, yeah.
I feel like it tastes better that way than bag popcorn.
We thought we were fancy because we got one of them countertop ones where
like the air popper.
That's what it was, and you pour them in it, and it's got the little but that thing would get so nasty
I
once you
hated that
did
butter
it.
dripper.
Yeah.
It would just get the popcorn all wet,
greasy,
soggy.
But yeah, you just put your bowl up there and it'd spit it out, and then we got a microwave, and I don't know why. I mean, you're not gonna be. It's too easy to put it in a microwave. Now you put it in there and you just push popcorn. You don't have to put it in. It'll sense. It'll tell you what the bag is, how many ounces, and it's perfectly popped. Used to, I'd stand up there with it. So if you had a pacemaker, you didn't want to be around. It's going to set you down because you got to listen. It'll say when it slows to 5 to 7 seconds, get it out or it'll burn it up. Well, you had to stay there with the microwaves, staring at it the whole time. I'm sure you're getting zapped.
And if you opened it too early, that was it. It wasn't going to pop anymore. Yeah. You just didn't get your full pop.
Have you tried the microwave pork rinds? They're not bad. I bought some. They're not bad.
What's better, microwave pork rinds or air fryer pork rinds?
Oh, air fryer pork rinds better.
Does it come in like a bag like popcorn does?
Yeah,
yeah. It's right there in like the popcorn aisle.
Mm-hmm.
I have to try it.
It's better, lower carb.
What do you mean you don't have a microwave? They're like $50 at Walmart.
No. It's a long story. We have a range microwave, and it ended up being whoever did the electricity in our house just did an awful job. Like the air conditioner wasn't run correctly and stuff. So the same thing with the microwave. It's like the electricity of the microwave wasn't working. We replaced the microwave, still didn't work. So we just haven't fixed it yet.
You can just buy one and set it up on the counter. Then you have two. So, I saw somebody post in the community. They had done some El Pastor on they called it a Trompo Pan.
I saw that. Who was it? It was a lady that did it, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
And I was like, man, because it said she gave a big recipe and everything. I was like, ask her if you had questions. And I said, yeah, I got questions. Where do you get that thing at?
They're on Amazon for like $20.
Or, hey, today's Prime Day. Send me one.
But I never knew. I've seen them before, but I never knew it was called a Trompo Pan.
I didn't either.
But it's basically a metal bowl with two little handles on each side and a skewer coming right out of the middle.
That reminds me of like those old beer can chicken pans.
Kinda.
You know, because they had the little. It wouldn't, but you couldn't put a beer can. It was like a little truss thing, and you set the chicken on it. And it was kind of a pan to catch all the juice.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I need one of those because I love doing. I like al pastor, chicken, pork, or beef.
You've never done a recipe on it?
No, never.
And it looked really, really good. She had used like the top
I wonder if you
of
could do gyros on it. Like,
heck yeah, lamb.
Yeah, it's like lamb and beef and some mixture, and you put it on there, right?
Yeah, I mean they've got them on Amazon for $20. They have some nicer ones that go all the way up to like $80-$90. But
yeah, I don't need those.
Let's make sure we like it first. Yeah.
But it looked really, really good. Like the pictures she put on there, and she gave like the recipe for everything on there and how she did it.
And she saved the top of the pineapple to go right on top. So
I've seen really people do it to where they like cut the pineapple off at the bottom, and that's the base, and they put a bunch of skewers in there and they put all the meat on and put the top pineapple back on and do them that way. But I've never tried that either.
I wonder if we can find a Prime Day deal.
You might.
And so put that on your radar. That's definitely a recipe we can do this fall. I got a quick question that I thought was a good question for the community. Greg asked, found some ground deer in my freezer that says sell by 2023. What are your thoughts on it? Is it still good?
Is it like, if it's like in like one of those sausage rolls where it's all no light can get into it? Shoot, I'd eat it. Ain't but one way to find out.
If the
cook
seal's
it
not
and see,
broke,
if it smells bad, or I mean, because I've ate stuff in the freezer from way past that.
Yeah.
Like those things that get pushed to the bottom or piled on. But was it bought deer? I wonder how you got a sell by date on some deer.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like my method for that is just to always have a backup plan for those kinds of things.
Yeah,
like cook it and then be ready to eat something.
It might taste freezer. It depends on the packaging. It might, like if it's in butcher paper and something's ice has got in there. But a lot of times, if it's in the sausage pack, it's packed so hard and wrapped up tight that it's not going to be able to freezer burn.
I'm with you on that. It depends on the packaging.
But when I get mystery freezer meat like that,
Mystery
we usually cook a
meat.
bunch of it, and some of it's good, and some of it's like, no, it's freezer burn. Throw that away. But yeah, I wouldn't cook it up to serve to your fancy
Yeah.
party or nothing. But
Defrost it, smell it.
yeah, taste it. No, I mean, cook a little. As you cook it, when it's done, taste a little bit of it, and if it's no good, throw it out and go to Plan B. What would Plan B be for you? Just regular breakfast sausage or ground meat, ground beef or something?
I guess. Depends on what the recipe is.
Yeah.
Plan B is usually macaroni and cheese in a box or something, I've had macaroni and cheese for dinner. Just macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
That is dinner.
More kids I've ended up having, because I would always make one box. When it was just me and Elliot, I would get most of the box. Then I had another kid. Now it's like a little bit of the box. Now I had a third kid. Now I need
You
to
don't
make
get
2
none?
boxes.
Yeah. It's watermelon and tomato season, Malk.
Oh, yeah. I picked up a flat from my folks yesterday on the way back home.
What do you do with your fresh tomatoes? First of all, you are kind of like a tomato junkie this time of year.
Oh, yeah. This is the best time. Homegrown tomatoes, it doesn't get any better. I mean, I don't mess with them. I usually don't even buy them throughout the rest of the year. I mean, I might buy Romos to
Yeah,
make
you buy
stuff
Romas
with,
or
but as far as
cherries.
like eating a sliced tomato out of season, no, ain't worth it. Like, I'm not eating a BLT in the spring. It's going to be right around 4th of July when those tomatoes hit.
We've been eating the heck out of some BLTs.
Oh, I love them. It's fantastic.
How do you do your BLT?
I like them on Texas toast, blue plate mayonnaise, TX the mayonnaise, big slice of tomato, 3 strips of bacon. And here lately, we've just been buying that Smithfield. It's been Wright's.
good.
Can't go wrong with Wright's, but
Yeah.
Smithfield's been pretty good. A little bit of shredded lettuce, more mayonnaise, more salt and pepper, salt and pepper the tomatoes, and that's it. And that's it's such a good sandwich.
It's like juicy and delicious.
But I started I was just making like a tomato salad where I'd slice the tomatoes and salt and pepper them, and then I would take I took a big thing of basil, like the fresh basil you get at the grocery store. It's like a clamshell, and I put it in the food processor with a little bit of olive oil and a couple cloves of garlic, and season that a little bit, a little salt, a little pepper. Spun it up, and it makes like a basil oil. It's not a vinaigrette. It's just like a basil oil.
It's thick.
Yeah, it's thick. You can spoon it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of it's more like a chimichurri, like a basil chimmy or
It
something
looks like a
that.
chimichurri.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But it goes with the tomato so well. So I'd take buy the pack of the mozzarella you can get it sliced or you can get the whole log. And sometimes I get the log and just slice it myself. And it's like a caprese, but it's instead of using whole leaf basil or basil chiffonade, it's that basil oil. And then I took like red onion and shaved it, like almost as small as I could get it, almost where you could see through it. Sprinkle some of that out there, dot it with that basil oil, and come back with a balsamic vinegar drizzle. Oh, man, that's summertime.
It was
right
really
there.
good.
And then I took it up another level and added bacon to that. So you got little chunks like lardons of bacon with the tomato, with the mozzarella, with the basil oil, with the onion. And that one was fire. That was phase 3. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Because I got a whole other box of tomatoes to go do something with.
I found a baked tomato recipe. Like you take it and you almost
I love cooked tomatoes like that.
I love the way that.
See, you can use the ones throughout the year for something like that when you put heat to them. But just fresh, and I eat them peeled. I take my time and my little paring knife and I peel every tomato we eat because the peel this time of year is a little tougher, and I'm just not a peeling on tomato guy. I want my tomato peeled, and it really makes your knife skills better.
Yeah, you take the time to actually get your paring knife and do it. If I do it, I usually get a little bowl of water and just dunk the tomato in there for
30 seconds.
Yeah, less than 30 seconds.
Yeah. Like blanch it and then put it in the ice water bowl.
Yeah.
And then the peeling comes off.
I don't even.
It gets that. You don't think it gets the tomato a little
It does.
waterlogged a little bit?
It does.
But it's not. I mean, I have done.
Man, it's easy. It
it's
just
easy,
peels off. I don't have those knife skills you do.
Just patience. You got patience to sit down and peel a tomato. And especially, I'd like to see if I can do it without breaking the skin. You go all the way around it until it's completely peeled and it's just one peeling.
But you love to chop and dice and peel, and you like working those knife skills. That's one of my
Prep cook.
Yeah, you're great.
Like the prep.
when I have to do a bunch of cooking, I'm like, you want to do some chopping for me? And you always go, heck yeah. But Malk, that's all I have for you today.
Now you got me wanting tomato. I'm ready. Ready to go home and eat some tomatoes.
We got some to eat.
Well, Tyler, do we have anything going on in the community? You want to tell folks about it?
Head on over to the Let's Get to Cooking community over on Facebook.com/group/H2Q community. We are having a giveaway coming up real soon that I'm actually going to talk to Malcolm and Michelle about here in just a little while, but I believe we're giving away a Primo grill. So make sure y'all join up over there. Details will come really, really soon on how you guys can enter in that.
What do we got to do to win a Primo grill?
We got to discuss the details, but yeah, there's for sure one of those being given away, and I think some other stuff too. So make sure y'all head on over there, and then in the meantime, but while you're waiting on that, share your recipes, answer other people's questions. It's really like an awesome place. Like seriously, even when I'm off, like I find myself scrolling through there like 5 or 6 times a day, just looking at what people are posting. So
I was just on there today looking at some questions, and other people from the community had jumped in and given like perfect answers, great answers to other people's questions.
Yeah, if anybody's out there using the Bayou Blend or the offshore Buttery Sea Food or the rib rub, share some of those recipes you're doing with it. That way it'll give me some ideas to what I need to do when so I can quit launching them.
If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and of course YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Miss Southern Shell on Instagram and TikTok.
All right, well, we'll be back next week. Hopefully my voice will be a little better than this today, but y'all have a good weekend.
I just got to keep you out of the
Oh, you know what? We didn't even talk about it. NCAA college football comes out. I didn't pre-order it, so I got to wait till like 11 p.m. on Wednesday, I think it is. Is that the 17th?
Oh, really? Yeah, tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, man. I've been waiting on this for like a decade. They ain't released this game in forever.
Have you already challenged Michael?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to buy 2 copies of it. One for upstairs, one for downstairs, so I can play him.
I think we should do a tournament.
Heck yeah.
Damn.
I can't wait.
Michael can whoop us all.
But we will be back next week to talk more barbecue. We might talk some football.
It's not time yet.
It's almost time. We gone.